the root widget, we have seen how to create a window. So window creation we have seen. Okay. Yeah, and it is inbuilt module, right? So already I shared this in my Telegram. Already I shared this in my Telegram channel, right? So yeah, and I said about label widget. Okay, what is a label widget we have seen? Okay, yes. After that, we have seen we need to talk about one more widget that is called entry widget. Okay, so let me talk about entry widget. So where you can input the values. So here I'm talking about entry widget. So label is only to display, and if you want to input anything during runtime, okay, if you want to input anything during runtime, so you can input during runtime by using entry widget. Entry widget is used for input values during runtime. An entry widget is an input widget where end user input values. And you are saying entry and where you are creating this entry widget within the master, right? So you need to define because you create and place in window. Okay, right? Yes, no problem. Yeah, yes, no problem, right? So this is how you are creating entry widget. Yes. So entry widget is an input widget where end user inputs some values. So here master refers to the window object and option define the properties of entry widget. Okay. So let us see practically this entry widget. Okay, right? So let us create one more program. So let us create one more program here. So I'm taking this as test2.py. This is another program where I'm saying import Tkinter. So first thing what you have to do is you have to create a window. And I said already how to create a window. You are creating a window by using TK class. So here I'm creating a window by using which class? TK class. And after creating a window, you are giving a title to this window by using a method called title. Assume that I want to develop a login window. Now I'm giving a title of this window as a login window. And then I try to define the size of the window by using geometry, window dot geometry, right? So you are creating a window by using Tkinter dot tk. And here you define, yes, here you define size of the window. I'm giving a width and height of the window. And after that, I'm creating a labels here. Label 1. This is assume that user label. I just write here user LBL, user label. Okay, user label. How can I create a label by using Tkinter dot label? And here you define where you want to place this label within window. And what is the text of this label is I'm giving username. So what I'm writing here user name. Okay. And then I'm writing password LBL. It's nothing but password label. So Tkinter dot label inside a window. And what is the text of this is password. Okay. And if you want to increase the font, you want to define the font. So you can define the font. I'm writing Arial, some 15. And here also I'm writing a font. I'm giving some Arial. So Arial, some 15, right? So define this. Now two labels I define. One is user label and one more is a password label. After creating these labels, I want to input the values. How can I input the values? For that, I'm creating entry field called user. Any name you can give. This is object name. And what is the name of the field is entry field. Entry means where you can input the value. Where you can input the value. And here you can define the width in characters. SID at 20. And you can define the font means character size. I'm giving 15, 15, right? Then I'm trying to give the password Tkinter.entry within window, and same width I'm giving here. What the width is 20, and here I'm giving a font. So the font is given same character size. Font is nothing but character size. But when you input anything within the password, it should not be visible. If you input anything within password, it should not be visible, right? So how can you create? How can I convert this into a password field? So you can convert this into a password field by just giving show. So there is one property is there. What is the name of the property here is show is there. Show. The property name is a show. And what do you want to display it when you type the text? What do you want to display it when you type the text? I'm writing here some show. Okay, show equal to what here star. It means whenever you type anything inside this, it will show you stars rather than showing original text. In the place of star, you can give anything. In the place of star, you can define any character, no problem. So there's no rule like you have to give star only. You can give any character. Okay. Now once this is done, okay. Now for example, if I'm saying window dot, so window dot main loop. So what will happen if I run this code? Okay, if I run this code, now I'm writing Python test2.py. If I run this code, now can you see anything in window? Can you see anything in window? No, there's nothing is there in window. Okay, nothing is there in window. So why? Because we need to define, we bind it. We just bind this label with window. We bind this label with window, but we need to define where to display within window. That is called as layout manager. That is called as a layout managers. So Tkinter provide various layout managers. So Tkinter layout managers. Okay, Tkinter layout managers. So Tkinter provide various layout managers. So what layout managers define is layout managers define the order in which uh, widgets to be organized. Widgets to be organized within, okay, within window. So that is defined by layout manager. How to organize? Layout means how you organize it. You have a different layout managers. One is called a place. One is called as a place, and second one is pack, and third one is grid. So all these are different layout managers. Now, whereas a place, it is custom placing, allows to place widget, allows to place widget. Widget means component at user defined position. user defined position here. Means you define the x value and what y value. Where you want to place, you define the x value and y value. Pack is there. Allows to place allows to place widget using predefined positions. Like these are called geographical positions. Geographic position or geographical positions. So what is geographical position is like placing at left side, placing at top, placing at what here bottom, okay, placing at bottom, placing at what here right, placing in the middle, right? So that is north, east, west, south, like that. So that is placing based on geographical positions. That is called as a pack. And grid is there. Grid allows to place widgets. Okay, widgets using okay, like rows and columns. So you can divide the window into rows and columns, and you can define in which row, in which column you want to display it. Which row, which column you want to display, that you can define it by using grid. That you can do it by using grid here. Okay, where you can write. So where you want to display it. For example, I'm writing like this: user label dot. Okay, user label dot place is there. Place. So define the exposition. Okay, define the exposition. So where you want to display it. So I'm writing exposition is some. Assume that in window exposition is some 50, and I'm writing y position is again 50, right? So what will happen if I run this? You can see this is x is 50 and y is what 50. And beside that, I want to display entry field user dot place. User dot place. Now x is, I'm increasing x here. Now I'm writing x is 100, but y is the same. X is 100, y is the same. Okay, so we are placing user label with x 50 and y 50, and we are placing user label and user is what entry field. User is what here entry field. Okay, user is the entry field, right? So place, sorry. So here I'm writing a place. So where you want to place it, just give the positions here. But I have to move, or I just increase the width. I change the width to some 400. 400 is the width, and I'm just moving this towards the right side. I just give it as 150. I change the access here. Username. Okay, username NAME, right? So username. Now if you run this code, you can see username. So where you enter the username. Okay. After giving username, below this I required which one? Password. Below this I required a password. Okay. Then first I'm placing password label dot place. X is a 50, but now I have to change the Y. I just given Y is 100. Now you have to check is it placed properly or not here password. And beside that, I should display password, right? Then I'm writing a password dot place. X is 150. Okay, Y is same. Y is the same. So what is the value of Y is 100, right? So now if you run this, you can see username. I input the username and then I input what here? Password. Okay. Now this is place. Place is used for placing at user defined positions. You're placing at user defined positions by using place. You're placing at user defined positions by using what here? Place. You need to define X position and what is that? Y position. You can give the colors. See, entry, every widget is having properties. Okay. Now I'm saying here background color. So text entry field background color is some cyan, and I'm giving a character color, foreground color. I'm writing it as a blue. Okay, so I've defined the background color as well as foreground color, right? Now if you run this, you can see this is the background color. I'm giving name and some password, right? So this is a name and this is a password. Password show letter can be given anything, right? In the place of star. For example, I'm writing it as a dollar. If I say dollar in the place of star, it will display what? Dollar. If you run this code, now input the username, and if you input password, now in the place of star, it is displayed what? Dollar. In the place of star, it is displayed the dollar, right? So this is one layout. This is one layout. Okay, this is one layout. And what is that layout is place. Okay, this is a layout called place. So in the place of place, you can also use grid. You can also use grid. Grid layout is there. Grid. So actually grid is nothing but rows and columns. Okay, grid is nothing but rows and columns here. Means you organize it by defining rows and columns. So widgets are placed in rows and columns. Now let me tell you about this grid is a predefined layout. So it is a predefined layout, and what is that layout is a grid. Okay, now this layout, okay, this layout organize widgets in rows and columns, in rows and columns, right? It is a predefined layout, means you need to define which row and which column. Okay, so by default, okay, this grid takes, okay, some arguments. Use colon. In label, you put colon. Here you put colon. Here you put colon. You created label, right? Here you put colon, then you'll get colon. Okay. So grid takes, okay, two required arguments. Two required arguments are there. One is a row and one more is a column. And this row and column starts at 0. Okay, this row and column starts at 0. Row 0, column 0, like that. Okay, right? So that is what will happen. So a grid takes two required arguments, one is row and one more is a column. And this row and column starts at 0, 0. And the size of widgets, okay, widgets are taken, okay, taken automatically. It is taken based on automatically based on number of rows and columns. So based on rows and columns, the size of the widgets are organized. Okay, rows and columns by using this. Now, for example, see here, I'm trying to use, I'm not using place. I'm not using place. Okay, I removed place here. Okay, now, what is the layout I'm using? Yeah, tell me here. What is the layout I'm using? Grid. I'm using which layout? Grid layout. Grid layout means you are organizing in the form of rows and columns. Okay, so grid takes two required arguments. One is a row and one more is what? Column. And see, it is just like a table. Okay, now you are displaying this item within the cell. Grid is just like a table. Grid is a table. See, grid is like a table. Grid is like a table where widget is displayed. Widget is displayed within cell. I think if you are working with HTML, you create a table, and within the table you have a table row and table column, and in that you display the item, right? Here also same thing. A grid is a predefined table with you should display where you want to display in which cell. You define the row and column numbers, and the way how you are writing and padding in HTML, like where you'll say pad X and pad Y, and here also you have a row span, column span. That is, if you want to drop number of rows and columns, you can also use, okay, what do you call it as row span, and one more is what? Column span, right? So same thing, like a table what you're using in HTML, right? Hypertext markup language, but it is predefined. Now here I'm writing user label. I'm writing user label dot grid. So define the x position is 0 and y is also what here? 0. 0 row and 0 column. That is called a cell. In that cell, you are trying to display the content. Okay. Okay. User label dot grid. X is 0 and y is 0. See here. X is oh sorry. Row is 0 and column is 0. This is row and column, right? So row is 0 and column is 0. Row is 0 and column is 0. If you run this code, you can see username. Username is there or not? Yes. And you can also define, okay, you can also define what do you call it as padding. Okay, padding. There is a two paddings can be done here, internal and one more is external, right? So here, if I'm writing for example, if I'm writing a pad X, I just given the pad X is some 10. It's nothing but this is internal padding. It's nothing but a space. This is nothing but a space. You can see some space from the border, right? Okay. Let us increase more here. I'm making it as from border of the label. From border of the label. Now I've given only pad X. Okay. Now you can also give pad Y. Okay, now here I just given 20 from label border. From label border. See here, username from label border. Okay, now in the same way, I'm using password label. Password label dot grid. I'm saying row 1 and column is same. Next row, column 0. Next row and column 0. I can see password. Okay, password is given. Now you can give comma. I'm giving same. Pad X is a 50. Sorry, and then pad Y is given some 20, right? From the border, it will give that much space. From border of the label, it will give that much space. Okay. So that is nothing but space between the content from the border onwards, right? It's nothing but within the cell. Within the cell, you want how much space at left, right, and top and bottom. That is called pad X and pad Y. Pad X is for left and pad Y is for top. Yes. Left, yes. That is what is the meaning of it. Okay, it will not take any space. See here, if I remove this, for example, if I remove this, you don't have any space. There's no space within the cell. There's no space within the cell. Now here I've given space. In this cell I've given space. Okay, this is a cell, right? Now within the cell you are given space at left and top. But for username I've not given, but for password I've given, right? So that is what do you mean by X and Y, right? Yes. Pad X means left, pad Y means top. Pad X means left, pad Y means top. Okay, top, like that. Okay, so in the same way, I'm trying to write user dot grid left. Okay, so user.grid, I'm saying row is 0 but column is 1. A row is 0 and column is 1, and password.grid, okay, row is 1 and column is 1. So beside that I want it, beside that user label and beside that password label I want it. So I've written like this, so left to right, like that. So here I've given username and here it is what, password. Okay, right? This is a username and this is a password. Okay, okay, right? So you can give this. Suppose if I'm not writing this, if I'm not writing this, if I'm not writing this, what will happen? There will not be any space within the cell because this is placed within the cell. From border, you want some space here. Is it any space or no space? No space. This is there in the cell. From border, you want how much space? Left side. Okay, left side, right side, top and bottom. That is defined by using pad X and pad Y. That is defined by using pad X and pad Y. And if you want to expand it, if you want to expand this username and password equally with the rows and columns, then you can use, then you can use, there is one argument. There is one argument called sticky. And this argument controls the expansion of which one widget. So that is, it will occupy the complete cell. It will occupy the complete cell. It will occupy the complete space. What do you call it as cell? But it will try to take the values like west, east, south, and north. It means you want to expand which side. You want to expand which side. If you want to make it all the sides like height, I mean left, right, top, bottom, then you'll give the sticky. Now the sticky values you combine it. North plus south plus east plus what, west. Now it will try to expand in all the directions. It will try to expand in all the directions if we give all combination. So small letters. So here I've given this values, right? Yes. If you run this code, sorry, sticky, what is the values here given like this? So here I'll give some E. E is nothing but East here. So how you can define this? Okay. Now I give only one. You can give combine. EW. Suppose I write here EW, that is East and West here. Now you can see this username is expanded. Okay. And here, now here also I'm giving sticky. Okay, sticky east and west. Okay, this is also I'm expanding it. It's nothing but you are expanding left to right. Now you're expanding left to right. Now take this one. Here you find some spaces, right? Give the sticky. I can give all east, west, south to north. Okay, you can give all the letters. You are writing a sticky east, west, north, east. So there's no rule like you have to give in the same order, right? So, but it will try to expand it. But here we have not defined. Actually, we have not defined what do you call it as padding and all the things we have not defined, right? So because of that, are you finding any difference if you are trying to write sticky? No. Okay, suppose if I remove this sticky here, because padding is not defined, right? Padding is not defined, right? Suppose I remove this sticky here. I remove this sticky here. Okay, I just remove this sticky. It's nothing but expanding it because you are not given the size, right? You are not given the size. Now, when you run this, now you can find some space here, right? Okay, you find some space here, right? Okay, yes. But you are expanding it. You are expanding with a number of rows and columns according to the size of the window. That is done by using sticky here. Okay, right? Yes. Now, this is one way in which you can organize it by using grid layout. So, if you are finding very difficult in placing by finding X position and Y position, then simply you can go for what? Finding difficult in finding X position and Y position, then simply you can go for, yes, what do you call it as grid? Okay, simply you can use what? Grid. That is a place. In the place of place, you can just use what? Grid. This is which language is used, not HTML. That is HTML, not HTML. This is Tkinter. It is background is used in C++ and C. All these libraries are written in that. Okay. Yes. There is one more layout is there. Let me tell you this layout also. And what is the name of that layout is a pack. So you can also organize these widgets by using their geographical positions. Means you want to put it the left side, right side, top, bottom. That is defined by using pack. Grid means rows and columns. Okay, grid means rows and columns. Okay, pack is nothing but based on like you define where you want to place it within the window, where you want to place it. You want to place it the left side, you want to place it right side. Okay, where you want to place that you define it by using place pack, right? So here, pack layout manager, pack layout manager. Okay, organize widgets within window. Okay, using what do you call it as geographical positions. By using geographical positions, okay, by using geographical positions, geographical positions, or using predefined positions, it will try to organize it. By using predefined positions. Okay, but what are these positions? How you define the positions? So pack is having one argument called side. It is having one argument called which one? Side. So side, which side you want to display it? Which side you want to display it? So side argument of pack define way to place widget. Way to place widget within window. That is done by using pack. So the values of flag can be, okay, you want to display at the top, or you want to display at the bottom, you want to display at the left side, you want to display at the right side. That's all. You want to display at the left, right, top, bottom. Okay, where you want to display it, where you want to display it. Okay, for example, now if we take the same thing. Now previously we organized in rows and columns, but now what I'm doing is I'm writing user label dot pack. Okay, I'm writing a side equal to top. Means I want to display the top. In the top, I want to display it. Okay. So below that, I want to display the entry field. User dot pack, and again I'm writing a side equal to top. This is also at the top. Means one by one. Means top to bottom it will organize. Then password label, see here, password label dot pack. Side equal to top. Means it will try to display at the top only. One by one. Okay. And password dot pack, I'm trying to write a side equal to, again I'm saying top. Means all these widgets will be displayed at the top of the window one by one. See here, this is username top, and then this is also top. Already username is there, below that password, and then password entry field where you enter username and where you enter the password, where you enter the username and password, right? So just to try to put a background color so that I can tell you one more property here. Okay, I can tell you one more property here, comma BG color. So background color, I'm just writing it as some yellow. So comma BG color. Just I refine the color here. So this both the labels so that I can explain one more property here. So when you run this, now this is a label, but this label is occupied full width. Is it this label is occupied full width? No, it is not occupied full width. So you can find some space at left as well as what right. I want to expand or I want to fill. I want to expand or I want to fill. Okay. Then user label dot pack side top, and here I use fill argument, and you have a both none x and y. Okay, I'm writing here both. I want to fill x as well as what y. Means it will fill both. I mean, what do you call it as horizontally as well as what vertically. Horizontally as well as what vertically. Then I said here fill both. Now you can see fill both horizontally as well as what vertically, right? Now here also I'm writing comma fill. I'm saying fill both, and here also I'm writing fill both. Okay, I'm trying to fill, yes, fill both, and here also I'm writing a fill both. So it will try to fill this password horizontally as well as vertically. Means it will occupy the complete space. Now where you input username, and you input which one? Password. Now this layout, this layout you call it as, okay, pack. Pack is nothing but where you are trying to organize. Okay, where you are trying to organize using their positions, like where you want left side, right side, okay, where you want, that you can define it by using this. Okay, okay, so that is about fill, and you can also define the pad x and pad y. Okay, pad x and pad y. Now you can write in any place where you want to place. I just write here. Yeah, let us copy this. I said miss. What is I said? I miss one side only. It is one side where you want it. For example, here I'm writing a left. Okay, here I'm writing side equal to left. Okay, now this get displayed at which side? Left side. Okay, it is one side only, no? That is one side only. You are displaying at the top, right? You are displaying at the top. Means it is one side only, not two sides, right? It is not two sides. It is at one side only. If you run this, now this is at left side, see. Okay. Now again, if I'm writing user, okay, user dot back. If I'm writing again side equal to left, so is it displayed again at left side only? See here, displayed at left side only. Username, password. Okay, right. Now if I'm writing again password label, I'm writing a password label dot pack, and I'm writing a side equal to, again I'm saying left, side equal to left. So again it will display it which side? Left side only. Yes, but left side already two things are there, right? See here, again it displayed at the left side only. Understood? Right? So if you want to change this, now you want at which one? Bottom. Suppose if I'm saying bottom, now this password label comes where? At the bottom. So here, this is password. So you can define the position where you want to display it by using which one? Pack. So whether you want it left side or right side or top or bottom, that is defined. And here you can also define the padding like pad X and pad Y. So where you can define the space around the widget horizontally and vertically. X is nothing but horizontally and Y is nothing but vertically, right? So these are called layout managers. Okay, I think you understood this layout managers. Tell me how many layout managers are there? Come on, tell me, how many layout managers are there? How many? Answer. How many layout managers? Three. What is the first one? Place. Place. First one is place. Second one is what? Pack. Third one is what? Grid. Okay, yes, very good. So place, where you can place, place is used for placing where? Giving X position and Y position. And pack is using geographical positions like left, right, top, bottom. And grid is for dividing into rows and columns. Okay, yes. Okay, right. Okay, fine. The next is, now we learn how to create a label and we learn how to input. Okay, yeah, you can access this from my Telegram channel. Okay, you can access this from my Telegram channel, right? So there is one more, there's one more widget we are discussing. That is, if you want to perform any operations, you do that operations by using one widget. And what is that here? Okay, now this is my Telegram channel where I put my notes. Okay, you can join this Telegram channel, right? This is Telegram channel where I place this text, I mean notes. Okay, this is a Telegram channel, right? So next I'm talking about button widget. This is my, yes, there is one more widget because You try to perform certain operations by creating button. Button means where you want to perform some operation. So any GUI component, if you want to perform any operation or any action, okay, any action or any operation you want to perform, you perform it just by clicking button, right? So you can say button is a fundamental thing which is required whenever you develop GUI application, right? Now here when you're talking about button widget, so button widget allows to perform allows to perform some operations. Okay, allows to perform some operations on clicking, right? On clicking, you can perform some operations or some actions. Some operations are what? Some actions. You perform it by using which one? Button widget. Now, what is the syntax of creating a button is Tkinter dot button. So here you have to define the root and you can define the text and there is a font, there is a text color and there is a background color and you can also define the image and even you can define like what do you want to execute. When you click on this, what operation or what command you want to execute, that is defined by using one keyword argument. And what is that keyword argument you are using is command. The keyword argument you are using is command. Okay, command means where you assign the function which has to be executed on clicking of the button, right? Now this is a root. You can call this as a root, or sometimes you call the same thing as what here? Master. So here, master or root is a it is a window. It is a window where okay button is what here placed. It is a window where you place a button, right? So that is called as a master here. That is called as a master. Okay, that is called as a master. It is a window. It is a window where a button is placed. That is called as a root. And after that, anyway, it is having a text. Okay, text of the button. Text of button means what you want to display on the button. So there's a font where you can change the text style. Okay, where you can define, yeah, placed text style where you can define font name and what do you call it as size. FG is nothing but foreground color, which define the text color, and BG is nothing but background color. So background color of the button, and you can also place the image. Okay, image placing image on button. It is done by using image here, right? And command is nothing but a function. Function the function here command is nothing but a function which is executed on clicking of what here button. Okay, when you click on the button, what command you want to execute, that is defined by using command here. So that is defined by using what here? Command. Okay. Okay. So that is a command here. So this is about a button. So let us write a button here. Dear students, you're understanding, right? Dear students, okay, up to this clearer, all of you. So when you click on this button, what action has to be done? What operation has to be performed? That you are defining it by using what do you call it as button here? Okay, so if you want to perform any action, you want to perform some action when you click on the button, that you define it by creating a button here. Okay, yes, very good. Then next is fine. We have done with this. Okay, now let us create a button now. Let us create a button here. Let us create a button and perform some action. Okay, yeah, some event. Yes, very good. Some event, that is also same. So let us create a first button exactly, and then we'll talk about rest of the things. Okay, first let me create a button. Open this. Okay, open this. Now anyway, we'll try to place this by using another what do you call it as layout. Another layout will use it. I'm creating a button. Tkinter dot button within window, and what is the text is login. Then you can define the font here, some Arial, some 15 is, and button 2 Tkinter dot button inside a window, and text is close. What is the text I'm writing here? Close. And I'm writing a font. What is the font is Arial, some 50. So font is nothing but text style. Font is nothing but text style here. How you want to display the text. Okay, right? Close spelling mistake. Huh? Okay. Okay, run the code. Run the code here. You can see. Can you see anything? No. But you have to organize this. Okay, I'm using user label dot grid. I'll take it. Very easy, right? Grid is easy. Row is 0 and column is 0. Okay, then password label. Password label. Row is 1, column is 0. Then user dot grid. Row is 0, column is 1. Beside that, and then password dot grid. Row is 1, column is 1. Row is 1, column is 1. So button dot grid. Okay, row is 2 and column is 0. Yes. Button 2 dot grid. Okay, row is 2 and column is okay, row is 2 and column is 1. Okay. So I try to organize like this. I try to organize like this. If you run this, you can see. Okay, right? Username, password. Okay, you can have a username and password like this. You can give the width of the button. You can give the width of the button, height of the button, but you can expand it. You can expand it by using what here fill. Fill is there, no? Fill is there. Now what you can do is Button dot grid fill. Fill, what is that? Both. That is horizontally and vertically. Fill both. I said here fill both. That is horizontal and vertical. What is the name of this? Is fill, right? Grid. In the grid, you have row and column. Yes. It is having row and column. Oh, sorry, fill, right? Fill is belongs to pack. Sorry. Pad X, pad Y. Yes. Yeah, this is pad X and pad Y. Yeah, pad X and pad Y. Fill is for which layout? Pack layout. Yeah, that is what I said. Pad X and pad Y can be used. I want space between that. That is pad X and pad Y. You can use it. In which layout? Grid layout. You can use in grid layout. Yes or no? Just now we have seen in grid layout. You can use pad X and pad Y. You can use column span and row span. Okay, and you can also use this. I said no, you can use a sticky. One more is there, like sticky is there. So how to expand this? It's nothing but aligning within the cell. Aligning within the cell. Okay, aligning within the cell. For example, I'm writing here E. E is nothing but what here? East. Okay, this is nothing but aligning within the cell, right? No, side is for pack. See, side is for pack, not for this. Now here you don't have space, right? Okay. See, if you want, you can define the width also. You can define the width and height of the button by using window. Button is there, no? Here you can write a width. So width in characters. I just given width in characters here. Yes, you can define the width. You want to increase the width, you can define the width. I said here 15. Now you can see button width is getting increased. Yes or no? Now you can define that. So you can use a width and height for increasing width and height of the button or any widget. Not only this, any widget you can define the width and height by using some keyword arguments like width and what is that? Height. Keyword arguments like width and height. Okay? Yes. So if you run this code, you can see login and close. You can input username and password, and you can click on login, and there is a button called what here? Close. As a login, and there is a close here, right? But when I click on that, I want to perform some operation, right? When I click on that, I want to perform some operation when I click on the button. Okay, when there is an event. What is the event here? Click. What is an event here? Click. When you click the button, it should perform some action. When you click the button, it should perform some action, right? Okay, let us develop one simple calculator. Okay, I want to develop a simple thing so that you can understand how you read the data from text field and how you write the data to text field like that. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to develop a simple calculator as a simple one. Okay, where You are trying to input numbers here. You are trying to input what here? Numbers. Then after that, you have a buttons like here, add button. So there is a sub button, as multiply, and one more button is what here? Division. I want to develop this. Okay. So this is very much useful before writing any project. This basic knowledge you require. Because of that, I'm telling you how to develop this GUI and how to handle the events. Okay. So I want to develop this. Okay, right? This is not web application here. Abhi Malkar. This is not web application. Are you developing web application? Huh? This is web desktop. It's not web, right? You are running this in browser. Huh? What year? Hmm? Standalone applications. These are which applications? Standalone desktop applications. Like what you find in your mobile. Mobile. In your mobile calculator is there, Google Pay, Phone Pay, all these are which applications? Web applications. Huh? Those are web applications. Huh? Google Pay, Phone Pay. No, no. Those are desktop mobile applications. Desktop mobile applications. Now this is desktop computer. Desktop applications, mobile applications. Those are standalone applications. All those are which applications? Standalone applications. Okay. It is not web. Okay, na? Right. So let us see how to develop this. Right. A simple application. Yeah, I'm developing this a simple calculator. Now you have to develop. You have to develop which one? This calculator. I'll tell you this calculator, but you have to develop this calculator. This calculator is there, no? You have to develop this design. Design the calculator. Design this calculator. Don't think about this navigation. Just develop a calculator like this. Now, which layout will you go for? Which layout you go for? This is which layout? Grid. Use which layout? Grid. Rows and columns. This is which layout here? Grid layout. Grid layout where you find the rows and columns, right? Okay, right? Yes. Yeah, that is Kotlin is for mobile applications. Like Kiwi also used. Kiwi also used for mobile application. Okay, right. Okay. Yes. Yeah, whatever projects I'm telling you, standalone projects, that is based on the Kinter only. Okay. So I just use Kinter as a TK. See here. Okay. So let us create. Now I'm trying to write, you can write as one or you can divide into functions also. So let me write as a one window. So tk is an alias name and tk is a class. And I'm writing tk dot, what is the name of window dot, I'm writing window dot title. What is the title is calculator. We are saying window dot title is a calculator. Okay. Then let us create the labels. Okay. Label one. Define the size of this window. Window dot geometry. This is used for defining the size. I just write 300 and 300 like that. Calculator. Okay, right? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You want to write in calculator in your resume, yeah? Okay. I said develop simple application, I said. That is for practicing purpose. Yes or no? Oh, that is only for practice. Okay. Let us first you learn technology. Then tomorrow onwards we build projects. Okay. Tomorrow onwards we build a project. Your phone is having so many applications, huh? Your phone is having so many applications, right? Huh? Okay. Your phone is having to do tasks. Task is there, no? To do task. Can you build that to do task by using Tkinter? Yes. Simple application. A simple application. You can develop an app called expense tracker. Yes. Can you build expense tracker by using Tkinter? Yes. You can develop a lot of application. You want to develop a standalone application for a school or college, not web. I'm not talking about web. This is standalone desktop applications. It means it is used by installing in one system. It is used by installing in one system and you use it from the same system. That is what will happen here. Okay. Yes. Okay, right? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You are a full stack Python developer, right? So I'm creating a label. See here. I'm creating a label. You have to put all the projects, not only Python, because you create a project in HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You have to put all the projects, not one project, right? So I'm creating within window. And what is the text I'm displaying is I'm displaying a text called number. See, tomorrow onwards we'll develop projects. Okay. Because now we are learning how to place all these things, right? Tomorrow we start developing projects. Okay, now text is a number. I'm just writing a font here, but I should know how to handle the events and all the things. Now there is a label to tk dot label. So within window, And what is the text is again, you're trying to input one number because you're trying to input two numbers, right? Now here again I said Arial and give the size. Okay, right? Then input fields you required. Entry field one tk dot entry is there. Entry tk dot, what is the name of the field? Entry. And within window, and you can give width. I just given width is some less width, some 5 letters. Okay, tk dot entry. Again I said entry within window. And again I said width some 5. Okay. Uh, Based on Kinter, what type of jobs you'll get? Okay. Only based on Kinter. Based on Kinter, or you should require complete knowledge of Python. Deepak Kumar Gowda. Only Python, complete, only Kinter. Huh? You are a Python developer, right? Python developer means what you do it. Python developer means what your job is. What is the job? Python developer job is what? Deepak Kumar. What is Python developer job is? Tell me. What is Python developer job is? Handling both front end and back end. Oh, that is full stack developer here. Python developer. I'm not saying full stack developer. I learn only Python. Will I build applications using Python? Will I build applications using Python? No, yes, sir. I build application using Python. Then for that application, I required GUI. For that application, is it required GUI or not? Huh? For that application, required a GUI. How you build that GUI? Huh? How you build that GUI? How? How you build that GUI? Using? Using Tkinter. Hmm. Understood? You're a, yes, using Tkinter and Streamlight like library. Yes. Kamal Yadav. Yes. Okay. I'm not talking about web development. I'm talking about pure Python development. I'm talking about pure Python development. Okay. Yes. Clear? Right. First of all, you should know it. Without knowing that, you cannot do anything, right? Okay. I'm not talking about web. I'm talking about pure Python applications. Okay. Pure Python application. How you present it. How you present and how you interact with the application. Okay. Yes. Compulsory you require a GUI and that you develop it by using Tkinter or using WX Python or Kiwi. With this knowledge, you can also develop mobile applications. With this knowledge, you can also develop mobile applications also, right? Mobile applications. I'm writing a button, I'm creating a button within window and the text is add. Text is add. So command is, okay, add method button 2 equal to tk dot Again, I said button within window and text is sub and command. I'm writing here sub. Now, this command is nothing but a function. You required this function before executing this program. I write a function add, but without writing any statements. I write a function sub without writing any statements, right? Yes. Then I'll say tk dot button and I'm creating a button within window and text is multiply. Text is what here? Multiply. And comma, I'm writing here command. Command equal to multiply. Means I need to call the function multiply here. So the function must be exist here. Function must exist. If function is not exist, then it gives an error, right? So b4 equal to tk dot button. So I'm creating a button within window, and text is some division, right? Comma, then I'm saying command. What is the function I'm calling? Division function. So there is a function called division asset pass, right? Okay, then organize this. So label one dot grid row one. I start with row one, column one, not with a zero. Entry field one dot grid. Okay, a row one and column, yes, a row one, column zero, and row one, column one. So label two dot, label two dot grid. So row two and column zero. Entry field two dot grid, row two and column one means you are writing in rows and columns. Button one dot grid, okay, yes. Row three, yeah, beside you are displaying it. E1 dot grid, yeah, E1 dot grid, sorry, E1 dot grid, and here E2 dot grid, yes. Here E2, B1 dot grid, and here I'm writing a column 0, column 0, and B2 dot grid, row 3 and column 1, and B3 dot grid, row 3 and column row 4 below that, column 0, and B4 dot grid, B4 dot grid, row 4, and there is a column 1. So we organize this. We organize everything in the form of rows and columns. We organize everything in the form of rows and columns here, right? So run the code now. Yes, we need to, what is that? Window dot main loop. So I will keep on running it. Okay, so run the code. I can see all this. Okay, right? So number one, number two, add, sub, multiply, and what? Division. Now, can you expand this? You can give the padding X and pad Y. Okay, so that you can organize by giving what do you call it as space, and you can expand it by defining okay some properties within what here grid. Okay, right? Now, once this is done, then how to read content from? How to read content from? How to read content from where you are reading content from? Entry field. How to read the content from entry field, right? And how to store content during runtime within the entry field. Okay, so that is what you need to know it. Okay, yes. So I think up to this clear, right? All of you. Okay, up to this clear, everyone, right? Okay. Now in the next class, means tomorrow I'll tell you how to read and how to perform operations, and then we'll develop applications by using these controls. And in between, I'll try to add more controls. Okay, in between, I'll try to add more controls. Don't worry about it. Okay, yes. But up to this, you have to study. Now, these notes I'll be uploading in my Telegram. These notes I'll be uploading in my Telegram. Okay, clearer, right? Yes. Yeah, no problem. No, Kiwi, I don't cover it. We'll see it. In the next workshop, we'll try to see how to work with the Kiwi, right? We'll see it. We'll see it. That is responsive button tomorrow. How to develop responsive button tomorrow, right? Yeah, I'll upload now only. I'll upload now. Okay. Okay, right? Clearer? Yeah, thank you. We'll see tomorrow. So don't miss the classes. Try to attend the classes regularly, right? All right. Thank you. We'll see tomorrow.